Greetings, welcome. Thank you for coming to Tap with me. Today's topic is siblings. Whether you have brothers, you have sisters, whether they're older, whether they're younger, whether you lived in the same house, whether you grew up in different houses, somewhere along the way, there's a bit of a clash. And as adults, we wouldn't necessarily choose to be friends with our siblings, but they're there. And we're intertwined with family dynamics, and it is what it is. So let's cover that today. I'm assuming you know all about EFT, so that's an assumption on my part. My apologies. Box below for how-tos, etc. Group calls, more videos. You know the drill. So let's dive in. I'll just echo what I do. There's a couple of spots that you may not see. One is under the arm. You probably know this spot already. The other one is the rib cage spot. So at the bottom of the bra where the ribs are there. So those are the spots where my hands disappear that I'm working on. You can also do the fingertip spots as well anytime if you just want to do that and save yourself some of the messing up the hair stuff. Side of the hand. I may use the word brother. I may use the word sister. I may mix it up. Do what makes sense for you. If they have a particular name, feel free to use their name. My brother, fill in the blank. I don't know, whatever the name is. If they have a nickname, you can do that. If you want to give them a nickname or, a little bleep bleep thing, you can use that too, whatever makes sense for you. So honor whatever stirs up the emotions. Even though I have this sibling and we just don't see eye to eye, I don't understand them and they sure don't understand me. And what they offer is pathetic. It doesn't properly assess the situation. And I deeply and completely, gently and compassionately love, honor, and accept myself. And I forgive them for being the way they are. Even though we're siblings, but we couldn't be more different in some respects. It's amazing how we grew up by the same parents or the same house. It's amazing we're related at all because we're very different people. And I deeply and completely, gently and compassionately love, honor, and accept myself. Even though we don't see eye to eye, and we probably never will, I choose to honor my truth, to accept them for who they are, accept them for where they're at, and do the best I can under the circumstances. Even though it's not the best of relationships, and I'd probably never choose them as friends. There's something in our culture about siblings. There's something in our culture about brothers and sisters. And so I recognize there's cultural pulls. And I deeply and completely, gently and compassionately love, honor, and accept myself. They're my sibling. He's my brother. But am I my brother's keeper? Must I protect them? Must I care for them? Or can I sell them off? Like Joseph with his coat of many colors. Sold, sent off to Egypt. Where unbeknownst to the brothers, he became the Pharaoh's advisor. I don't understand my siblings. Yes, siblings. Sometimes it's worse when we have more than one. They don't understand me. These sibling relationships. What is it about siblings? What is it that's going on here? I just don't understand. We don't understand each other. I'd probably do a better job understanding an alien speaking a different language. I don't get it. They certainly don't understand me. What were they thinking? Seriously, what were they thinking? Probably nothing at all. And that's part of the problem. They weren't thinking what I needed them to think. They checked their common sense at the door. They're not reasonable people at the best of times. But they're my sibling. They're my brother. They're my sister. And I have to honor them. And I have to respect them as human beings. We are tied through family bloodlines. They are witnessing my life unlike anyone else. My longest relationship, lasting longer than my parents, lasting longer than school friends, and possibly longer than my mates. These sibling relationships that span the decades. We evolve, we grow, we change, and our friendships and our relationships also grow and adjust and change and adapt. And there's growing pains. Becoming adults in a relationship that start off as children. Those childhood behaviors, those childhood antics, no longer appropriate. You don't get to be 12 years old anymore. You don't get to be a pesky sibling. It's time to grow up and to evolve that relationship and to grow that relationship into something more, into something different, and to move forward. Shifting the relationship. What if we could bring out the best in each other? What if we could stop for some long, honest, overdue conversations? We carry each other's secrets, carry the family secrets. We don't speak the truth. We don't honor the truth. All these unspoken conversations. As children, how our parents handled our conflicts is probably the same the way we're still handling our conflicts. How did your parents handle the conflicts? Were they dismissive, domineering? Did one sibling dominate all the time? Did one of you have to appease all the time? And which were you? Did you get your way? And now you think you have to get your way over and over again? Did you appease and avoid? Disappear? Don't want to be part of that conflict. Don't want to be part of that issue. And you kept that pattern, or they kept that pattern, and now they don't talk to you, superficially at best, because they don't want to address the real issues, to have the tough conversations. Because there's some tough conversations to be had. There's big issues. And they're not always easy. We know our siblings' vulnerable spots, and we use it. We stab that knife in, and we twist it, and we struggle because we don't know how to be siblings. We don't know how to be friends. We don't know how to care for each other. We don't know how to advocate for each other. These toxic relationships, all the sibling stuff. And the challenge with siblings and with families is we're loyal to the dysfunction, loyal to the wrong aspects, loyal to the wrong things. And so we struggle because we're keeping the lies alive. Let's not talk about that family skeleton. Let's keep it in the closet. Let's not have the real conversations. Show up, look pretty, be nice, bite your tongue, and don't call anybody out. How do you have a relationship like that? Superficial and shallow? Or can you be real? Boldly expressing your truth, calling it the way you see it, expressing your needs, listening to understand, not listening to defend, not listening to criticize, not listening to judge, not listening so you can stonewall, push back, but listening open-heartedly, receptively, being open, honest, asking questions. When was the last time you just asked questions? Tell me more. This is not an interrogation, but an interview to understand them, to understand their perspective, to understand their world. But there's all these emotions with families, all this unresolved anger, all this unresolved sadness, the fear, the contempt, the jealousy, the insecurities, the overwhelm, all this stuff from the past. You weren't heard then. You're afraid you're not going to be heard now. They bullied you then. You're afraid they're going to bully you now. They were smarter than you then. They were a show off. And you're afraid they're going to trump you again and remind you of how smart they are. It's been a long time. All those years. And we got to let it go. Clearing the sadness, clearing the grief, our own grief, because we didn't have the relationships we desired, but clearing the other grief, the family secrets, the grief of things that didn't happen they were supposed to, clearing all that grief, clearing all that angst, clearing all that uncertainty, clearing all that judgment, clearing all that shame, giving yourself compassion. It's been a long road. Have a little bit more compassion and gentleness, because we deserve that compassion. It's not been easy. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for who we are today, compassion for that wounded child within us, compassion for the wounded child within them, compassion for who they are today. A big, healthy dose of compassion. Add a little validation, add a little acceptance, a bit of recognition, and maybe we can move our life forward with a little bit more support, mutual reciprocity, and consideration. Healing those family wounds. Healing those family wounds. Reconnecting those family ties. Unraveling those knots. And starting over. Because you can always start over. Releasing the pain. Releasing the sadness. Releasing the layers of the pain. The layers of the anguish. The layers of rejection. The layers of frustration. The layers of wounds. The layers of grief. The layers of anger. Letting go of what needs to let go. Letting it go. Opening ourselves up for fresh, for new. Breathing in fresh air. Opening the windows. Clearing the cobwebs out of this relationship. And opening ourselves up for a healthier and better relationship. They're family after all. Good, bad, and indifferent. They've been there in the past. And they'll be there in the future. They've been there in the past. And they'll be there in the future. So opening up the doors. Trusting that things can improve. Things can work themselves out. Standing strong. Standing firm. Honoring yourself in this new relationship. Honoring yourself as you recreate, redesign, and evolve this relationship. Pushing it to the next phase. Pushing it to the next level. Shifting who you are in the process. And as you change, invite them to change. For more love, more acceptance, more support, more consideration, more openness, more tenderness, more gentleness, more compassion, and loving each other through all the crap. Loving each other through all the glory, through the ups and downs. Hanging in there, persevering, moving forward, and giving it the best go you've got. And doing what you can. Take a deep breath. Thank you for being here. Hang in there. Siblings can be tough. This may be one you want to do again. Um, I get it. Love you and bless you. See you in the next video or in a call.